missed your chance to place a reservation for the 2022 Ford Lightning, or you're an early reservation holder that didn't get a chance to place an order, what now? Lucky for you, there are still some options, and I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was in your situation, and we're starting right now. I'm Patrick with Truck Evolution, and I'm back again with another video, this time to talk about what to do if you missed out on your chance to reserve a 2022 Ford Lightning. Let me know in the comments below what electric trucks you've reserved so far, or if you have plans to reserve any in the future. And make sure you stick around until the end of this video, because I have a tip for you that may help you purchase a brand new 2022 Ford Lightning from a dealer this year. As many of you probably know, it is possible to take home a used 2022 Ford Lightning today. If you are rich enough and it's important enough to you that you're willing to pay a large premium on a depreciating asset, by all means do it. But if this was you, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. Electric trucks are new and in high demand. It's not completely fair to the consumer the way the auto dealers are deciding who gets their trucks and when. This angers me almost as much as the duck-shaped sponge not being called the scrubber ducky. If you need a vehicle today or just something to hold you over until you can get an electric truck of your own, the first couple of questions that you need to ask yourself is, does it have to be a truck? And does it have to be full battery electric, or will a plug-in hybrid suffice? Because my actual first backup plan for myself was the Chrysler Pacifica hybrid. For all you single men out there, you can pick up 5 times as many women in this than you could in a Lamborghini. You can also fold the seats forward and fit full sheets of plywood in the back. If you don't drive too far, you'll almost never use gas, but if you run out of battery and don't have time to charge, gas is still an option. Pros are that you can get one today, they're reasonably priced, they qualify for the federal tax credit, they blend in so you won't attract any unwanted attention. They're comfortable and perfect for anyone with a family who also needs a lot of space for cargo from time to time. This van also has a 1,313 pounds of payload. Last year I put artificial grass in my backyard, but my truck broke down. When it was in the shop, I was given a minivan as a loaner, and I loaded it up with 1,000 pounds of gravel about 5 times in one day, and it handled it about as well as my truck did. Adversely, I wouldn't use a Chrysler Pacifica hybrid for work. It's perfect for the casual do-it-yourselfer, but it wouldn't hold up on a construction site. It's not built to go off-road. Anything dirty you load up will end up inside the cabin, not contained to a bed outside. It's not a perfect long-term solution for many of you, but it is a good temporary solution for most of us. The market research firm Recurrent Auto surveyed roughly 200 EV shoppers and determined that only 20% of residential customers that reserve the Silverado EV actually have any intention on purchasing the truck. This doesn't sound right to me, but they actually did some research, and I'm just some guy who has a reservation and isn't all that likely to convert this reservation into an order. So who am I to question their study? After all, a Ram driver will consider a Ford, and an F-150 owner will look at the Ram, but neither would be caught dead in a Silverado, so maybe this makes sense. If I were you, I would place a reservation now, and maybe with a couple different dealers, since each reservation is refundable. GM announced roughly 140,000 reservations in April, so let's assume they're up to 150,000 reservations today. That means there's a chance that only 30,000 people plan on buying this truck, and that's good for you, because depending on how GM determines who gets a truck and who doesn't, this gives you a reasonable chance on getting a first-year Silverado EV. GM is also planning on unveiling the GMC Sierra EV by the end of this year, and I've read that they plan to start production in 2023. Make sure you check out the unveiling and see if it seems like a good fit to suit all your wants and needs, and get that reservation in as quickly as possible. I think the easiest truck to get if you got the means is the Rivian R1T. I placed my reservation on a Rivian more than a year ago, and I'm feeling largely ignored by Rivian, if we're being completely honest with each other. But my loss may be your gain in this situation. I'm price locked to the lower grandfather price, and there's at least a few examples of people who reserved later than I did getting their R1Ts as quickly as 4 months from their reservation dates. But come on, Rivian. Don't I look moderately attractive sitting in an R1T? At least so-so. These trucks are like suits. Everyone looks good sitting in a Rivian, maybe even me. You've got my deposit. Call me. Even though Rivian claims that they're not prioritizing people with newer reservations paying more for the same truck, their actions are showing kind of a blended approach. This means that realistically, there is a chance that you place a reservation today and you'll hear from your guide before I do. Ram will reveal its new battery electric truck this fall. There's a strong possibility that Ram is going to show their new truck off at the LA Auto Show in November. What we know so far is that they are planning on selling this truck starting in the 2024 model year. I anticipate that they will follow a similar formula of starting at $40,000 for a basic truck and trying to make their truck's features seem just slightly better than their competitors, just like we've already seen with Ford and GM. The Ram should be a good quality and nice looking truck because let's face it, Ram style is part of what sets them apart from Ford and Chevy. Ram's promising better range than their competitors. I'd be excited to see if maybe they utilize solid-state batteries, which some of Ram's competitors may be using by the 2024 model year, but I'd be surprised if Ram somehow became a pioneer in battery technology. Ram was hesitant to make this truck in the beginning, so they've got a lot to prove. Due to brand loyalty, this would have been my first choice if this truck actually existed. I'm confident that Ram will build a truck that will win me back. What if I told you that there are several electric crate motors on the market today that could turn virtually any gas-powered truck into an EV? Now, I admit this is more unorthodox than I'd be willing to attempt myself, and I don't want to oversimplify this process. I'm ignorant about what really goes into this type of conversion, but it's been done by others, and it may be an idea worth exploring further. The most famous EV motor on the market is the Ford Illuminator that was made famous by the 1978 F100 Illuminator concept truck that Ford built. This crate motor is the same motor used in the Mach-E GT Performance. You need to provide your own battery and whatever other hardware goes into this type of build. You'll also need a shell truck, and you'll need to take factors that affect range into consideration. Anything with a lift kit, large heavy tires that create wind resistance will affect range drastically. Unless you know what you're doing, you'll have to find a shop that can do this sort of work. I'm actually kind of curious how this will work, because modern EVs are controlled by firmware. The oldest EVs were made before firmware existed, so it is possible, but I'm kind of curious how this new technology is actually implemented. I may need to look into this for a future video. There's a popular video series by Rich Rebuilds where a Hummer is electrified. I'll have to go back and rewatch that and see how he did it. There are a few honorable mentions that I don't want to waste a lot of time on, but are worth paying attention to just in case. For instance, the Tesla Cybertruck, which has over 1 million reservations, and if you reserve today, you will likely never be able to get a Cybertruck new. The Toyota Tundra EV, which doesn't seem like it's going to be a priority. Seemed like Nissan was going to build an electric Titan with a little-known company named Hercules, who also had plans to release another truck called the Hercules Alpha, which looks just like a Nissan Titan. I honestly don't think this will happen. Startup Edison Futures has built a prototype shockingly similar to the Cybertruck. There's also the Lordstown Endurance, which doesn't appear to have enough operating capital to stay in business much longer. If you only care about function and utility, the Canoo pickup truck. Canoo, much like Lordstown Motors, is running low on operating capital and may never make it to market. But I've got some good news that I promised in the beginning of this video, so listen up. Every EV certified Ford dealer has a 2022 Ford Lightning for sale on the dealer's lot. The catch is that you need to pay a deposit for the right to buy it in 6 months. These are demo units, so other people will be test driving the vehicle for those 6 months. And dealers are free to charge whatever additional dealer markup they can get away with charging, so you'll need to do your homework. Many of these demo units have already been reserved, so you need to act fast. If you start calling dealers today, there is a possibility that you have a Ford Lightning in your driveway by the end of the year. If you're interested in the present and future of electric trucks, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like my video so you can stay up to date on the newest information on new and upcoming electric trucks and EV-related technology. Leave any question and comments you have in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'd also like if you could tell me what your backup plan to the Ford Lightning is, since it's too late to place a reservation. You made it to the end of my video, and I'm grateful. I'd say that we're like family now, but there are some people in my family that I plain and simply don't like. And I like you. We'll come up with nicknames for each other later, but until then, make sure to check out my other videos. I've got a couple choices on the screen right now. Once again, I can't thank you enough. Have a wonderful day.